At the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55, Sandia Speedway iRacing League takes the dirt street stocks for a 50 lap A main later this evening. We got a couple events to get to first. First off, we're currently in the middle of our 15-minute practice, followed then by a 3-lap qualifying. From then, we have 8-lap heats with no cautions. Looking like we're going to have heat races this evening. Heat races will set the lineups for the A feature night. The A main, it will be 50 laps, and that will conclude our broadcast. Right now on the track, we have Hunter Sandy in the 7 car. Now reset back into the pits. Having a slight issue with our four wheelers. There we go. I can see who has currently the fastest lap in practice session. Currently leading practice is Hunter Sandy, a 14.16 second lap. Track right now, you see Chris Hooper in the 54 car. Be good to go with the technical stuff. Currently in practice is the 54 of Chris Hooper with a 14.21 second lap time. And it looks like we have our co-commentator for the Tyson Gifford. And Tyson, are you with us now? Tyson, you're just getting in here, but you know a little bit more about this league than I do. You want to run us through some of the names we're going to see tonight?
Yeah, so tonight we're running with the Sandia Speedway. Got the iRacing Classic Series going on. We're here at I-55, Peevely, Missouri. Got a few guys here. Brayson Collins, track promoter and race director. He's going to be racing in the number 5B here tonight. Josh Patterson, 2023 heat race winner in the cruisers class. He might be showing up. If we see the number M17, he's right in front of Brayson. Actually, Mr. Rob Mosley, multi-time track champion and feature winner here at Sandia Speedway, taken to the dirt at I-55. 7S, Hunter Stanley, he's the 2023 USRA B-Mod Division champion. Lots of good names here. Millbridge regulars, Colin Scarborough and Caleb Scarborough should be in the 85 and 43 respectively. Now they live out west. Colin actually serves in our U.S. military in the Air Force out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and his brother races a micro at Millbridge in the winged class. Number 4, we have Jonathan O'Brien. He's a young talent in the sprint car division. And then number 24, Diego Alvarado. He's a new guy taking over Chuck Johnson's sprint car. He was a USRA B-Mod feature winner at Vado in 2023. Just a few of those names here. Got lots of good names, lots of great dirt racers that should be out here. And honestly, it's going to be a really fun show. I-55 is a great track. I'm not a dirt racer myself. I'm not even that great at iRacing, but I love I-55. And, I mean, these guys, they're really going to put on a heck of a show here. no matter how big or small the field is tonight, we're really glad to have something supporting Sandia Speedway on the iRacing service, getting people together during the off season, getting people to race together, and getting us ready for the season that is to come. 2024, new track promoter, new race director with Brayson Collins. He's really making sure to put effort into getting back to the grassroots side of things, really connecting back with the fans. And with this iRacing league, it's just one of the many things that he's trying to do to really low cost things that will really be able to get people started to be ready for the real racing season this year in 2024.
Thank you, Tyson. And currently leading practice, like we said before, is Hunter Sandy with a 14.16 second lap time, followed closely by Chris Burr in 54, 14.231. Rob Mosley with a 14 in the 17. I think we have another 4 minutes and a little bit, just over a little bit more 4 minutes to get into the 3-lap time trials, 3-lap qualifying, whatever you may say it as, watching the 54 of Chris. I think the laps they're running right now, just about car's width above that inside wall there. Some are getting a little bit lower than others. You already see where that track's starting to rubber up.
Yeah, these dirt streeters, they're really going to have a fun time once this track really slicks off. Right now, the track pretty dry so far. iRacing, how they make it, the track gets it starts off a little dry. The rubber kind of builds in really quickly in the middle lane, but then it takes a while for the cushion and everything to build in. But Chris Hooper, excuse me, he is a previous track feature winner. We see all these guys really trying to search for the correct line around this track. It's going to be very interesting as the night goes on. No refarming of the track, excuse me. So that's going to make it very interesting for how the track slicks off. And with a 50-lap feature, these guys are really going to be searching for grip, searching for the cushion. And it's going to make for some 2-3 wide action later on throughout the night as the temperatures on the track go down and as it keeps slicking off and gets more and more wet.
Yeah, especially like that, no refarming. We're probably going to have at least 68 laps of racing, not to mention that we have the 15 minutes of hot laps we have on right now. Another 2 minutes remaining. You can already start seeing where that track's starting to rubber in that second line. And that cushion, it's moved up a little bit since I've already started been watching here. We'll see how that continues on throughout the evening. We're currently watching.
As my friend Charlie Mefford once said, you got to hop up on that cush piece and cowboy up and ride it down. And hopefully throughout the race, I mean, this track's really going to rubber in maybe throughout the second heat, but definitely within the first 10 laps, we're going to see a lot of difference in how the track changes throughout those first 5-10 laps.
And I've already seen one car just starting to work the cushion now. It's going to be the one of Zachary Galeos. And actually the car in front of him too. It looks like that's going to be the... Find him here. I want to say it's the 43 of Caleb Barbero. Starting to work on that cushion now, move it a little bit further up the racetrack. And those are really the only two cars I've been seeing doing that for the hot lap session we've had going on now.
Those guys getting comfortable up top, really just, I mean, you see Caleb right there tapping the wall, 44, barely kissing the wall with his rear quarter panel. That's how you want to ride a cushion right around here. And those guys getting comfortable with it in these last few minutes of hot laps, really going to separate, I would say, the boys from the men in terms of who's going to hop up there early during their heat race. And even someone might try it for their first lap of qualifying. Try it on the first lap of qualifying, see if you can get a good arc going into one. It's hard to say what the fastest time around here will be. I I would assume that I think first lap you'd rip around the top and then try to diamond the corner in
What?
your second lap and try to make sure laps 2 and 3 are your fastest. It'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out as the track has really started to come into its own within the last few minutes of practice.
I just think it's very interesting. The moment I started saying that no one was riding the cushion, everyone started to move up there. As it looks like the hot lap session is ending with Hunter Sandy as your fastest car out on track. And now we're gonna move into a 3-lap qualifying, a 3-lap time trials session. Cars get out here first. Have about 5 minutes to. Everyone has about 5 minutes to get out there, run their 3 laps. Lap times are about 15 seconds each. You don't have to worry about running out of time. But it's more so of a game of when you go and how that all plays out. Like one of our first cars out there will be the 7 of Hunter Sandy. Your time trials. Not so much winner, but the fastest car out there in time trials. Hunter does here in 1 and 2. His first lap in the time trials.
Really taking his time getting up to speed here. I mean, at this type of track, you really want to feather the gas pedal. Taken to the top here now. Looks like he's going to try to rip around the top, see what type of time he can lay down. Top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4, very interesting. See what type of momentum he's able to garner off of that.
Currently, the 5 of Brazen Collins is or they're in time trials currently. Like he's on his third. He's on his 3rd lap. Final lap these drivers have here today.
3 laps is very tricky for being able to give these guys qualifying. It tricks you into thinking that you've got longer of a time when in reality you just have an additional warm-up lap. It's really just a true green white checkered. Your first lap ultimately shouldn't, if your first lap is your fastest lap, that's probably going to be either an issue that you had on laps 2 or 3, or you just couldn't find the right line.
It looks like the 9 of 9 car here we have. He had a little bit of an issue 1 and 2 the last lap. Looks like he just gets too high. The car looks like it over rotates and he hits that inside wall there for a 2nd lap in a row. He pulls it off the track. He'll head back out to see if he can get another just under halfway. Looks like we don't have any cars out on track currently trying to put down a time. At you're on the YouTube, watching on the Gamecast Racing Network, or you're on Twitch. One moment, try to see if I can get the floor about them. About a minute and 39 seconds. Looks like we got now the 38 of Travis Oldfield now trying to put down a lap. Be the 11th car to qualify in the time trial section. And it looks like that 1 and 2 is starting to cause a little bit of problems for some of these drivers. It looks like they tend to over rotate just a little bit, and when they're in that 3rd lane, they always end up head close to that inside wall there. And obviously, hitting the inside wall is not the ideal line. But I don't know if they're possibly trying to get a later apex out of 1 and 2. Might be trying to get some drivers. Might be causing some issues for some. As
Yeah,
Travis
certainly. I was going to say certainly very interesting that people are really just it's really taken an they've been taking a unique line going into 1 and 2, and it's been causing issues with them.
Well, it worked for Travis Oldfield because he put down a 14.616, which actually puts him to the top spot in our time trials portion of broadcast. With looks like there's only one more car left to qualify. 001 of Eric Smith.
Looks like he wasn't able to set a time down, so we're going to go right into heat race number 1. This is going to be a very interesting lineup. See, I think some people just didn't even set a lap time. So back to the front, from the back to the front in these heat races are what some of these guys are going to do. Very interesting strategy, especially with how the track is rubbered in 1 and 2.
Well, starting on the pole for heat race number 1 is going to be the 38 of Travis Oldfield. On the outside pole, Chris Hooper in the 54. Arthur Hurley, the 4th, will be in the 44. Starting 4th on the outside of row number 2 be Rob Mosley in the 17M. Starting 5th, Zachary Galeos in the 1. And last but not least, starting in position number 6, Connor Moore in the 9.
I think this first heat's going to be really interesting with how much we saw the track shift from the first little section of practice to the last 5 minutes, and then especially during qualifying. It's really going to be interesting to see how 1 and 2 develops, really slicks off and creates that cushion, as we're able to see so much more rubber in 1 and 2 rather than 3 and 4.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that change in practice, that change in the time trials, and even the change from heat 1 to heat number 2 might be very different. As the iRacing pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, field at the hands of Travis Oldfield. And he takes off. It's a nice jump out of turn number 4. Clears the 54, Chris Hooper. Now has to contend with the 44.
8 lap heats, no cautions in this one, as it's the 38, 54, and 17M, 1, 2, 3. Here goes the 44Z of Arthur Hurley going around the outside. He was the one really using the top in hot laps. As he bounces off the wall there, he's going to be the first one to really take it to the high side, really try and cowboy that cushion right there, really straddle it, see the fine line in between there. I mean, when you hit the wall, it was on the back straightaway, so that's the place where you want to hit the wall, especially on iRacing. So 38 continues to lead Travis Oldfield, multi-time feature winner in non-wing and winged sprint cars at Sandia Speedway. He knows what it's like to be up front with a track named Sandia running the show, and he is out front once again. As the battle for second was going on, as wow, he just rips the outside of the wall there. Again, jumping the cushion. He's really his horse is bucking a lot as he is riding that cushion and jumping over it. Still able to keep up with the 54 though for second place. Really gets loose out of the corner though.
Mentioned that 44 pretty much every lap since the start, as we do have about 2 laps to go now this time by. 44, about every lap as he has just hit the wall. As he hits it there again. I wonder if the 17 of Rob Mosley sees that he's going to try something on the inside here as he does. Don't know if he'll have a run or out of turn number 4 or not.
Last lap, white flag in the air. Flagger telling him one more time to go. Really got 3 cars right here working for that second place position, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to capitalize. He tries the Ross Chastain move, rides the outside wall, not gonna be able to do it. It's the 38 of Travis Oldfield who takes home the heat race victory. The 54 Chris Hooper in second, the 44 of Arthur Hurley in third. That's your top three.
As now we're gonna reset here for heat race number 2. I was waiting for the cars to load onto the racetrack. They have about a minute till they can need to start rolling. Get 2 laps. Race number 2 of 2 evening.
I tell you what, that's going to be a third place. It's going to be a sixth place starting spot for Chris Hooper in the main. Or yeah, sixth place starting spot is going to be row 3 outside. If he's able to utilize that outside, he might be a threat for the win if we've got a 50 lap feature and the track really works into his favor. But we have Brayson Collins in row number 1 and Hunter Sandy right starting alongside him.
I know one car we mentioned in qualifying, he never put down a lap. That would be the 001 of Eric Smith. We'll see what he does, as we haven't really seen anything. There's nothing in the practice, or he didn't put down a lap in the time trials, so he may be moving. We really don't know. I mean, he's really the big unknown for the rest of this field here. As Brayson Collins does not get nearly as a jump as we saw with Oldfield in heat number 1. 7 drives it really hard in the turn number 1. He hits the outside wall, and that allows the 5 of Brayson Collins to just kind of drive away.
Already slamming into the wall twice. You can just hear it. Turn 1 and turn 3, he pounded the outside wall, and that just allows Caleb Scarborough to get to that inside. Oh, Caleb Scarborough over rotates, taps the inside wall, and will settle back into that P3 spot, as there's really no competition for any of these spots right around the track so far. Battle for fourth place, though, the 01 and the 35. Oh, the 01 hard into the wall. No yellows here in these heats, though. So going to drop down to fifth as Brayson Collins commands the lead. The 7 of Hunter Sandy, the USRA B Mod Division champion, hot on his tail, really sends it into the corner and is trying to get that run out of the turn 4 that he wants.
Hunter Sandy in the 7, as you mentioned, he's really trying to get the run on Brayson Collins. He has about another 4 laps to do so. Question is, will he get here or not? As you see the 01, he was kind of slow. He's now stopped on the exit of turn number 4 and looks like he's going to park it. Wait for the 50 lap A main after this heat.
I know it's iRacing, but he's got the real racer mentality. Don't junk up your stuff and just save it for the A main. Everybody's locked into the A main as we got a battle for first place, potentially heating up Hunter Sandy, really breathing down the neck of Brayson Collins, who now he takes to the inside, trying to see if he can gain any speed there.
Want to go this time by.
Yes, sir. One to go. It's going to be Brayson Collins, Hunter Sandy, and Caleb Scarborough. Not much change in the running order as they're going to exit turn number 4. All Brayson Collins out front, Hunter Sandy second, Scarborough in third. That's your top 3.
The rest of these cars are getting around to start finish line. And that brings us right on to our A main. 50 laps. Cautions are on for this A main, I believe. Got the starting order in a moment.
Just want to take this short little time before we get rolling. Limeade Media has a new production, Beyond the Lights, The Dome, following Charlie Mefford at the Gateway Dirt Nationals in 2023. Premieres this Friday at 7 p.m. Be sure to check it out on the Limeade Media YouTube channel.
As some of those viewers, you may notice the ticker up at the top there seems to have us a little bit of a problem. Seems to be a little delayed, so I'm trying to get that worked on for all. We have about another 2 going. But our starting lineup for for the A main, starting on the pole position, 38, Travis Oldfield. He won heat race number 1. Grayson Collins in the outside pole in the 5 is on the outside pole for the A main. Continuing on with some of our starting lineup here, Chris Hooper, Hunter Sandy, Arthur Hurley will round out the top 5. I'm going to take the rest of the starting field. Maybe we lost Tyson. Starting 6,
Yeah, I'm here.
starting 6, Caleb Scarborough. Starting 7th, Rob Mosley, Alveos, Zachary Gallegos, Eric Smith, and Connor Morenos will round out your starting field. Now Travis Field gets another great jump out of turn number 4. Grayson Collins gets in the second position. Looks like he's going to be battling the 7 of Hunter Sandy on the outside. I think there was a 3 wide there for a moment entering turn number 3. I kept hearing cars hit the wall. I'm not quite sure what happened.
Yeah, it looks like Hunter Sandy is really just kissing that outside wall. Brayson Collins going to fall down to third.
As
Hunter kisses the wall once again,
it looks like
and
the caution is out.
caution is out. Looks like we had a spinner towards the back of the field.
Looked like not quite sure what brought out the.
There's a car stopped at the bottom of turn 4, I believe, the 001. Yep, that's correct.
That's what
Gets her back.
brought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the field just drive right on through there. I mean, that's the right call there from the iRacing, because he almost just got hit by the 9. Looks like 001 is back out there. What happens? They are under caution. Looks like it's going to be 1 to go this time by.
Want to go, they'll double back up. It's going to be the same front row as what we started with. Grayson Collins to the outside. He's not the control car. It is going to be the 38, Travis Oldfield, control car on the bottom lane. Got some really fast cars in row number 2 and row number 3. As we get back going, green flag is in the air. Grayson Collins does not get as good as a jump as the 38. That's going to allow the 7 of you know who, Hunter Sandy. He's down in the bottom lane, not where he usually has been. I think he's only spent about 2 laps total on the bottom lane. He's going to try to make a workaround. Brayson Collins is we're 3 wide, 4 wide into the wall. Oh, we got a spinner. It's Brayson Collins, and running into the back of him is the 9. I believe that's going to bring out the yellow.
And it does.
As we had 4 wide. We just weren't able to hold it together, and we all spun out.
We already have the replay up for you now. We'll see what happens from the viewpoint of the 9 as you see the 5 get spun around and the 9 just has nowhere to go. Get spun around. Well,
incredible car control by all those guys. They were able to keep it 4 wide for the most part. And I mean, it really wasn't any doing of anybody else, just Grayson Collins over rotated. We're going to see it right here from his angle. Look at this, 3 wide for 5th. Oh, it looks like he got help from the 17.
Yeah, 17 Rob Mosley. Looks like he got the left rear just a little bit there. And that's all the help you need here on the 1/3 of a mile dirt oval.
With how slick this track is and with how people have been over rotating, all you really need is that little bump, and you're going to get sent around. You'll have that in racing sometimes, and I mean, it's a long race. Plenty of time for Brayson Collins to really work his way back through the field.
And
We're going to go single file.
The iRacing pace car is already off, and the 38 gets another great jump on the 7 of Hunter Sandy. Now in the 3rd position is Chris Hooper, taking over that spot from Brayson Collins after he got spun. And I don't know, it looks like the 50 more might have a little bit of left front nose damage there.
Yeah, just a little bit of nose damage, not really going to affect you at a track here in Peevely. I mean, it's not so much of an aero-dependent track. Maybe might hurt you if you're trying to give somebody the old chrome horn, or the a plastic horn, as these guys have plastic noses. Is we're got some battles going on throughout the field. Ooh, Scarborough almost over rotates and able to save it there. His experience at Millbridge Speedway in the micro division really able to help him out there. Brayson Collins on the hard charge back up through the field. It looks like, over rotated and went up into the wall, driving with his eyes red by the looks of it, as he's really trying to make those positions back up. He was in P2, P3, fighting for the lead. Now he's all the way back in the back of the field. I know every racer can understand that feeling, especially this early in the race. Battle for second going on, dives to the inside. It's the 54, as he's going to try to make a look on Hunter Sandy, as Hunter Sandy linking in and out, really ripping that top lane versus bottom lane. Sandy really the only one riding the cush piece there, as he tries to send it back down to the middle lane in turns 3 and 4, trying to force the 54 of Chris Hooper into a mistake. That might be the play, as he's really faster through 1 and 2. He's able to pinch down the 54 just by a nose in 3 of 4. Washes up a little bit, wasn't fully clear, and as he keeps ripping the wall, keeps tapping the wall, that allows Chris Hooper to get back up to his quarter panel, side by side once again for this second and third place spot at his quarter panel. Door bumper sends it in. There goes Chris Hooper, really ripping the outside. Goes the 7. Hunter Sandy is riding that wall by the looks of it. I don't know how iRacing isn't punishing him for how much he's tapping that wall, jumping the cush piece there. But man, he is on his horse and riding the outside in 1 and 2. Lapped car could be a factor here for these guys, as he's just riding his own lane. Now he dives to the bottom lane, getting out of the way of
And the
the
iRacing
leaders.
and the caution's out once again, and it looked like there was 5 Raising Collins.
Very interesting. Yellow comes out for the third time tonight here. That was some great racing, Alex.
That was some great racing. While the caution's out here, I'm going to try to see if I can get the overlays working one more time here, as they just kept freezing up. I apologize for that, everyone in the audience, in the YouTube and in the Twitch. Have some time here to get it worked out while the cars are just circulating under yellow flag.
Track's really coming into its own here, as drivers are going to double up for the restart. One time by, 1 lap to go here. We're going to take you flag to flag here on GenCast. As we said, these guys really putting on a show. Now, what is Hunter Sandy going to do for the first time? He's on the outside lane, row number 1 for the restart. Green flag in the air. We're 3 wide for third place, and 4 wide almost, and we've got some tight corners here. Almost calamity corner coming out of turn number 2. They were able to somehow keep it clean. Hunter Sandy, whoa, right on his quarter panel right here. Don't look now. It's Brayson Collins. He's sitting there 4 wide. He's trying to send it underneath the 44. I think he makes contact. Doesn't. And the 17, the 54, they're side by side for third place here. Brayson Collins, I believe, hit the inside wall and has fallen back right when I said to look out for him. He falls to the back of the pack after, unfortunately, hitting the inside wall. We've got some great battles here.
This looks like the iRacing has brought out the yellow once again. Base car. It looks like the 9 has a lot of damage on there. I don't see anything other issues. I'm gonna have to assume that was something to do with the 9. And got a little bit more time here. I'm just gonna try one more thing here for the rest of you. We are only on lap 17. I mean, we have a lot more great racing to go.
It's going to be, I mean, we've had enough green flag runs and also enough cautions. Really, we've had a little bit of flow in the race here, but not too much. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we get a green flag run going of about 10, 15 laps, to see how these cars are going to handle it. Because really, up front, we've had extremely clean racing amongst the leaders, very respectful as well. As we're going to double up once again for the restart. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see. The nine's going to stay on the track even with that damaged car. Hunter Sandy on the outside gets a little bit of a jump on the 38. Green flag back in the air. It's the same song and dance that we've heard. Travis Oldfield gets a great jump. And into the wall goes the 7. His horse bucked the outside. He hopped over the cushion, and here comes the 17N. That's Mr. Rob Mosley. He's in second place now as the battle shifts to third.
Got a lot of cars and not so much space. It looks like the 44. I thought for sure he was going
Whoa,
around. He saved it. What a great save there on the inside of the backstretch there. Now he's battling
great
5.
Great save by the 44 there. He was able to keep it straight, keep it clean. Caleb Scarborough is falling back to the back end of this pack. Here's the 1 car as ripping the outside. Still a battle for third, or really for second place now as the 7. I mean, Hunter Sandy, if you're able to buy that quarter panel after the end of this race, man, that's going to be a hot ticket item as he is just beating that thing off. I mean, it might just disintegrate by the end of this 50 laps.
As Barry say, I don't think there's going to be any quarter panel left to purchase. I don't think there's a quarter panel on it anymore. I mean, how much he's been running. Most of it's probably on the wall at this point. Looks like the 17 does have a little more of a gap now on the 7. You may have noticed throughout the broadcast, the 7 has been blinking just a little bit. Not too much to concern. I wouldn't be concerned if I was the driver here, but you never know when that may play into effect later on, especially with about 30 more to go.
Again, hitting that outside wall, the 54 of Chris Hooper. He's really not able to capitalize on that bottom lane. I honestly think, I mean, the 7 has been probably the best guy on the outside. It's just that he keeps bucking the cushion. He keeps hopping over it as the cushion slowly inches more and more towards the wall. He's just pushing the issue there now, tries to squeeze and force the issue of the 54. A smart play call. That's what we've seen that's what we've seen the 7 do mostly all day is, whoa, loses it in 1 and 2. It was the first time that he hadn't taken the outside since, I think, lap 1, and he hit the inside and was not able to capitalize. As here's Brayson Collins now, he's working his way past the 1 car. I think this will be for the 5th place position as the leaders still same leaders as we have had throughout the race. It's the 38 of Travis Oldfield. I don't think he hasn't led a lap all night. The 17 and Mr. Rob sitting in second, but he's under fire from the 54. In third place, Chris Hooper. He's right there to his quarter into the corner. Whoa! Really gonna have to let off. And the 17 opens the door coming out of turn number 2 into turn number 3. They're going to be door to door sideways through 3 and 4 as the 7 of Hunter Sandy. I think, I mean, there must have been somebody telling him, or maybe he's been watching us saying that he's been hitting that outside wall. He's been ripping the bottom now, not taking any chances. He might have gotten too many X's from hitting that outside wall. He must be at 30 by now. As still side by side, almost side by side action down the back stretch into 3 and 4. This battle really heating up, not letting the 38 of Travis Oldfield get too far away, but also letting the 7 and 5B of Brayson Collins and Hunter Sandy to really reel them in. So it's going to be very interesting as we've had a nice green flag run. The chrome wheels of the 54 trying to reel in the M17 of Mr. Rob. Rob gets loose out of turn number 2. He's been watching up through turn 2 down to the back straightaway, but he's been able to capitalize on the momentum and really arc his corner into 3. And that's what's made him more consistent than a Chris Hooper going into turns 3 and 4. So it's very interesting. It's like a pendulum, as you will, going racing around this dirt track, this 1/3 mile track in Peasley, Missouri. Beautiful facility in real life and on iRacing, one of the fan favorites to drive on, both in the World of Outlaws circuit, on the high limit circuit, in the late model circuit, and then of course on the iRacing service.
As the Irish pace car does head back out onto the track, it looks like another issue. The only car I can see off the track would be that 9. I don't see other issues on track. We'll see that continue on throughout. I don't see any other issues as the iRacing pace car now does head out of the pits to catch 38.
I mean, shoot, we've got only a few laps to go. That was a very good set of green flag laps that we had going. And I mean, if this racing continues throughout the night, we're going to see one heck of a finish here in Peevely, Missouri. The fans on their feet. I don't think the iRacing service knows how to sit them down, but it doesn't matter because we've had such a great race going on. We've had battles throughout the field. We had some cautions. We've had some green flag runs. What better could you ask for if you're even a dirt racing fan, if you're an iRacing fan? This has been amazing racing so far.
As the 38 does get another great jump on the rest of the field there, the 17. I don't know. I don't know what if the rest of the field can even do to catch the 38 out there on the restart.
Here comes the M17. Here goes Rob to the inside to the quarter panel. This has been Rob's best opportunity of all night. Really, doors of gets loose coming out of the corner. He's gonna lose the spot. That was his best opportunity. Problems. Whoa, they really kept it going there. Ooh, that was close quarters there as Rob, Mr. Rob, he had the chance at the lead. Someone was going to dethrone Travis Oldfield and then really bit the corner, really tried to take off more than he could chew as Brayson Collins gets turned around. Took off more than he could chew and got turned around almost in turn number 1 and 2. Got sent back to the back as Brayson Collins got turned on the back straightaway, and it looks like that's going to bring out the yellow for, I believe, the 5th time tonight.
Sounds about right for my count as well. I mean, we got 39 laps. We got about another 12 more laps to go in this race. 38. They've looked strong the whole race. I don't know if anyone even has that ability to catch them. We saw that one close moment there in 1 and 2, and that was pretty much the only competition the 38s had to deal with the whole evening.
Now, something to take note of, who has used their tires effectively? I mean, we've had some people ripping the top side. We've had the 7. He's been ripping the top side. I mean, Mr. Rob's really been using the bottom. So is the 54. Brayson Collins has had to work his way from the back to the front multiple times. It's going to be interesting for these final few laps. Green flag back out. We're back underway. It looks like Mr. Rob tried to stay with the 38 of you know who, Travis
We
Oldfield.
got a lot of issues there. 7 got turned around. The 17 got turned around in a completely separate incident. Both those cars are now back on the track, but 2 big contenders just got run out.
Wow. Yellow comes out for the 6th time tonight, and I think of all of the cautions, that is the biggest one. It looks like the 7 got turned around by the 44, just trying to stick his nose where it shouldn't be. I mean, realistically, you would put your nose there. He was at the quarter. He thought he had the momentum. He thought he had the piece, but just wasn't able to keep it stuck. The 7, he was sideways. The 44 wasn't. It's just dirt track racing. But the 54, Chris Hooper, he doesn't have a front nose. And the 17's really giving him the business here. He's really slamming him, showing his displeasure. Puts him in the wall. We've got tempers flaring here under yellow. Wow. Oh my goodness. It ain't a dirt track without tempers flaring under yellow. The 17 of Mr. Rob really telling him who's boss. As the green flag is back out, we went to a single file restart, but I think about half the field was double file because Rob was still telling everybody his displeasure. And I mean, these single file restarts are really all that Travis Oldfield needs to get the jump off the restart. Look at this. Someone we haven't seen before. It's Colin Scarborough or Caleb Scarborough, excuse me. He's in third place as he is ripping the top side. He really has been sitting in the back all day. He might have saved up his tires enough to try and make a run for the win, at least for a top three podium. But with that yellow that really flipped the midfield on its head, Travis Oldfield still out in front. Brayson Collins working there for fourth place against the number one of Zachary Galios. Oh, we've cars on the inside wall. Brayson Collins tapped the inside wall as well as the 7 of Hunter Sandy, and I believe Hunter Sandy brings out the yellow for the 7th time tonight. That's going to be a big one. That's going to be interesting because that means it's a double file restart.
I have to say that 17 on there on that last restart. I mean, he's in the pits now. His day might be done. I mean, I know we have iRacing race control this evening, but I mean, this was something. Anything other, there's a live race control. I mean, I'd be looking at that. That'd be the first thing I'd be looking at is trying to figure out what happened there, especially since it's still double file on that single file restart. I mean, you see it there, the 54. He has that front nose damage. I don't know if that was there before or after the incident. You have to think that it's going to cause issues later on.
You definitely have to think that it's going to cause an issue. If he has to use that chrome horn, he don't got no chrome horn. There's nothing on that front bumper. That's going to be a disadvantage. I think if you're hitting something that's going to go right to the radiator, I know it's iRacing, but it's still going to affect your car if you try to give the bumper to the 38. And that's what you're going to have to do. I think you're going to have to move.
I
If
agree.
if you get to Travis, you're going to have to move him. As we have a single file restart once again, green flag back out. It's Travis Oldfield, Chris Hooper, 1-2. 3 wide for third. Brayson Collins smartly backs out of it as Caleb Scarborough ripping that outside, everybody else on the inside. Caleb Scarborough, does he have the tire life to try and catch the leaders? I don't know if he does. He's been trying to really work that top lane in, but he's also been in the back conserving his stuff for the most part. But now he's stuck in a 3-wide battle for third place. Only a few laps to go. Flagger telling him how many laps to go. Oh, problems. They're able to keep it straight. Maybe. Cars in the wall.
No yellow. It's still green.
No yellow. We're still going. Wow. I think everybody flipped positions there, and now the 1 gets turned by the 7, and that should bring out the caution.
Yeah, we're still green.
Still green, still green. Oh, cars around in turn number 1, the 44. He's around.
I don't know how we stayed green, but we still are. And iRacing, the flagman must have just got tired. I don't know what to say. About 5 incidents there. There's still hear cars hitting the wall there, but
wow, very intriguing stuff. I mean, it's the end of a dirt race. Everybody's trying to fight for these positions. Into the pits goes the 7. I don't think he meant to do that. There's Brayson Collins ripping around, and let's see, no battle for the lead so far. It's still the 38, all out in front. Travis Oldfield really shown the way here, Alex. I mean, this has been.
It looks like we just hit the checkered flag. That came up on me fast. I wasn't even paying attention to that, I'll be honest. Had so much action on the track, and I think there must have been 1 to go right there. Now I see the 38 doing the burnouts. Flagman did not. I didn't see the flagman have the checkered flag out, but apparently it was at that time. So
I mean, hats off to Travis Oldfield. I mean, that was a heck of a race run by him. Really, it's a race of attrition there for him. He commanded the lead the entire race, but it certainly was not easy.
yeah, it was definitely a great race for Travis Oldfield. I mean, he's showing the fans all around this track the winning car. I don't even see that issue on that car. I'll be honest. I mean, there's not a single dent at 38. You had a hell of a race, ran it clean, and
he'll be able to take it to the shop and
load it back up on the trailer. Keep going.
Yeah, load it back up, bring it back. I mean, scrape some mud off, maybe bust out a few fenders, but all in all, great racing there by Travis Oldfield. Great racing throughout the field. I mean, we really had some of the best racing that I have seen, at least on my perspective, from I-55. I mean, these street stocks always put on a good show no matter what track they're at. But I mean, especially here, you could see how people were getting 3 wide, 4 wide, how the cushion was really working. We saw people jump in the cushion. We saw people trying to cowboy up, use the high side. People were using the low side. The middle lane we didn't really see, except from Travis Oldfield. Travis was really the only person using the middle lane. I think that was the difference throughout the race. He was able to keep a nice, clean race, really not have to worry about anyone from behind, and run his race. Only one real time that he was threatened for the lead, and flag to flag for Travis Oldfield, and hats off to him.
Travis Oldfield, like I said, he had probably the best. I mean, he had the best car. He was the only one able to run that middle line, for better, for worse. And I mean, everyone who ran that top lane, I mean, drivers come to mind, Hunter Sandia and Rob Mosley. I mean, did not benefit them at the end for one reason or another. Rob Mosley with his issues on that one incident. Same with Hunter Sandy, he got caught up in another incident. The cars that just stayed at the inside, cars that come to mind like Brazen Collins and Chris Hooper even, they were the ones that ended up with the results at the end. I mean, Chris Hooper ended up in second, Caleb Scarborough in third, Brazen Collins fourth, after having 3 or 4 different separate incidents he got caught up in.
I mean, I know Brayson started in second, but still, I'd give the hard charger to Brayson, having to go from roughly first to last, back up to third or fourth, and then back to last again, and being able to make it in fourth. Hats off to everybody. They put on a heck of a show. A little too many cautions for my liking per se, especially at the start of the race and maybe towards the end. Had some tempers flaring. It's all part of dirt racing, and all in all, we had a great race. Best car won. If you're a track promoter, can't be happier than that.
And the best car, the best car in the heats, the practice, the time trials. I mean, I think he won it all. Travis Oldfield, like we said, best car of the race. Rob Mosley, he had a great car. Again, it got a couple of incidents at the end. Same with 7 Hunter Sandy, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next week. I don't know where y'all are going next week. I don't know what's going on, but sounds like to me you're all racing next week. Live chat and others.
I mean, if we're racing next week, then I will be seated for it because this was some awesome racing, for sure. It's going to be interesting. Going to be great. We're going to see you guys next week. Thank you guys for everyone. From me, Tyson Gifford. Thank you guys for watching. Alex, send it away.
All right, we're going to run through the finishing order of the A main with your winner, Travis Oldfield, Chris Hooper in third, Caleb Scarborough third, Chris Hooper second, my apologies, Grayson Collins fourth, Deku Eos in fifth. Going down the order now, Hunter Sandy sixth, Arthur Harley the fourth. I don't think we said anything about him the entire race. Finished seventh. Good run for him. Rob Mosley in eighth, Connor ninth, and that will about it. We have Kyle Valios 10th, Nathaniel Cruz, Eric Smith. Last but not least, in the 12th. And from all of you in the YouTube and in the Twitch, I would like to apologize. The timing and scoring was having issues the entire race, and we try to keep you updated the best we could, and hopefully we get that figured out for next time because I wanted it on there. I worked hard in getting it on there, and fortunately, just got in the. But thank you all for watching from I-55 Speedway. This was the Gamecast Racing Network. Thank you, Tyson, and until next time.